Well, Jeffrey, here we are again for our third in this sort of middle part of the series on immortality. And you're challenging us to maybe think outside the box a little bit about perhaps how we've conceived or perceived what our life in the next age is going to look like. So we started last week with those two things that First Peter's addressing, or the Apostle Peter's addressing. I think there were two more. Talk to us about those.
Yeah, so last week we looked at this idea that Peter begins to expand on, that if, this resurrected state, because of the resurrection of Jesus, the literal physical resurrection of Jesus in a literal physical body, right? And then he immediately says we've been caused to be born again, and then he talks about our inheritance. So we're adopted through faith. He's caused us. I mean, this is our understanding. You talked about the five solas. He caused us. I mean, we were dead, and now we're alive, okay? But we're at the intersection of these two worlds, right? This is the world to come, and it's overlap. And this is the church right here in the middle. And then we've got a dark world that doesn't know Jesus, doesn't understand. I was seeing something, I think yesterday, Jerry Seinfeld was talking about, I mean, he's got to be worth $500 million. All his reruns and everything. He said he just feels like this kind of dark cloud lives over his life. Why? Because he's living in darkness. He struggles with some depression he was talking about. This is open, this is public knowledge. And now we've had these two intersections. And so what's that? We're tasting it as a foretaste, but the ultimate inheritance won't come until Jesus consummates this. And then, as we pray that, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And new heavens, new earth, new habitat, new bodies, all that. But our inheritance will not only be, it won't diminish, it won't be perishable. It also will have a holy root. It won't be defiled, but it won't fade away. I was telling some folks this last weekend, I said, I remember when I was a kid, we were growing up, and it's like my dad had like a week of vacation or whatever. And I think he took the other week to play in his member guest or something. But we take a week. We had to drive a day and a half to get to southern Colorado. So we lived in Texas. We drive, we get up through New Mexico. And I mean, I'm just freaking out because I can't wait to fly fish, right? So I just can't wait to get on the river, and I can't wait to get on the river. And then you'd see, because, being in West Texas at that time, kind of dirty and flat and windy. And then you'd smell, and like a dog, you'd stick your nose out the car window, smell the pines, and you could see the foothills coming. And then, and it's so exciting. And then you get there, and you get your fishing license as fast as you can. Maybe you can get a couple hours in at the end of the day, and you get out on the river and you go, but immediately all that was tempered by one thing. It was going to be over in 4 days because we're going to have to get back in the car and drive an hour. And I was already, it was everything of my experience was tempered with the knowledge that it's already 4 days away, and it was 3 days away. Actually, the best part of my vacation, and would really, quite frankly, was the months working up to it. Because once we got there, I knew we were only 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, and now we got to get back in the car and go. And I just hated, I just playing, and I'd be looking out the back window like, please no, don't leave, Colorado or whatever. But because it all fades away.
Yeah, yeah.
Not this inheritance. Stay as long as you want. I got to get somewhere, I got to pay the bills because we're going broke. You're not going to be going broke. You can linger over coffee. You can hang out with your friends. You can, we'll still be creating culture, but it's a timeless spot. So it's unfading. And then lastly, it's reserved. We're talking right before a lot of maybe folks on this call won't have a place, a private club, maybe that they go and they have their name on their locker. And one of the things any guy that aspired to play would be playing the Masters, number one, and number two, win. Because then you only can go into the champions locker room at Augusta, right? You go in, you go up it must be a completely different feeling. And it'd be a rookie, like, maybe go into the wrong locker room and find himself in the champions locker room. What are you doing in here? You don't deserve to be in here. This is not reserved for you. And I think a lot of us have that feeling, Dennis, like we're going to get to heaven and like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. No. It's reserved for you. Your name's here in the Lamb's Book of Life. Now, how does that happen? You give your life to Jesus. You believe in his death, his burial, and his resurrection, just like the thief on the cross. We deserve what we're getting. when you come into your kingdom, he believed in Jesus coming into a kingdom. There was a king, and then he was going to be raised from the dead. And then Jesus said, well, now you're going to have to go out and feed the poor for the next 4 years. Hopefully you can get down off this cross. If not, too bad, it's too late. No, he said, you'll be with me today in paradise. And then you become adopted and you have an inheritance. And I don't know why we complicate that so much, because it's reserved. It's part of our deal. And that Jesus made possible. We have to live for this. That's why we want our links groups to grow.
Yeah.
That's why we share golf with the gal we play with, or the guy we play with on Saturdays, because we want to take as many people to this new habitat with these new bodies as we possibly can, because we start to actually believe it.
What a powerful analogy. I've never thought about having my name on a locker in the championship. But you're right. This is the ultimate champions apostrophe S locker room, and he's prepared to engrave our names. And if we've given our life to Christ, he's done just that.
That's our hope. I mean, that's our hope. But it revolves around a body and an inheritance and a literal place, not a disembodied spirit. That's Buddhism, where we kind of float back into the great cosmic oneness and become one with the universe. Do you think that's going to motivate me now? I'm like, if I'm going to become part of the great cosmic oneness, I'm going to go out and live my cosmic singleness right now. I'm going to live, but no, that's not biblical.
Yeah,
it's just not biblical.
Yeah, that's so good, brother. Look, thanks for stealing away. I know you're busy. Thanks for taking some time. There's so much more we could go into, but this is give us, for me, plenty to write about, and for us, plenty to think about. So thanks for your time, brother.
Buddy, it's always good being with you, and you've done an extraordinary job. And I speak on behalf of every devotional reader. I get them every day. I get them every day.
Yeah.
Dennis Darville is amazing, and you are. This is the yeah. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
See you, everybody.
Love you, respect you. To our Links family and friends, we will probably continue this next Friday. God bless. See you then.